Welcome back, folks. I'm MTG Joe, and today we're going to be wrapping up our budget build series for the Esper Stax Prison Doom Foretold Dance of the Manse combo deck. So for those of you who are tuning into this video, haven't caught the others, the budget build series is effectively taking 3 variations of a deck, starting with a budget version that's about 10 rares, mid-budget version is about 20 rares, mythics combined, and then this is the fully tuned version. What I do is kind of build with you a guide on how to take from a budget deck to a fully tuned deck. So following this video, I'll have a full write-up on aetherhub.com. It's where I do all my article series. You can catch Golos Field, which is already done for this series. So they're kind of instructional, kind of help guiding. If you're new to Magic, you're unfamiliar how you can kind of build over time. It's really here to kind of plug in free cards you have, cards you might have along the way, and build towards one of these tiered decks. So for those of you who are new to the deck itself, this is basically kind of a combo control deck that's looking to do what's called stacks, which is usually kind of referred to a prison deck, which is effectively locking your opponent from doing what they want to do. While we have fun, the opponent has no fun. So in typical Esper fashion. So the main cards that kind of go with the combo is Doom Foretold, which basically at the beginning of each player's upkeep, they have to sacrifice a non-land, non-token permanent. If they can't, if like that player can't, they discard a card, they lose 2 life, you draw a card, you gain 2 life, and you create a 2/2 white knight token with vigilance. Then you sacrifice the enchantment. So what we're trying to do is play a bunch of cheap cycling artifacts. This will effectively put a lock on the opponent because we can keep forcing them to sack their stuff, where these cards basically replace themselves the second they enter the battlefield. Once we fill our graveyard with a bunch of cheap artifacts and enchantments, we play Dance of the Manse for some number, usually hopefully X equals 6 or more. That brings back all these enchantments, and then they could become also 4/4 creatures. So the same enchantments that lock them out will also beat them to death. So it's kind of a combo deck that way. You can keep bringing it back, lock them out. So piecing together the deck, what we add to this version here, the non-budget version, we up the amount of Kaya's Wraths up to 4. These can be also win cons. We go up a Wishclaw Talisman, so this is basically a tutor effect where we can go find like key combo pieces or removal as needed. So it's a one of, the opponent does get a copy of it, but they're basically, if they have nothing else on board, are forced to sack it on the upkeep. So it kind of gets around that play. We're adding in the Thought Erasures instead of Duress because now we have a more consistent mana base. Thought Erasure is just a little bit more effective of hitting any card versus Duress, which is a little bit more specific. Still got our cheap artifacts, still have our Dance of the Manse. Go up to 3 Murderous Riders as opposed to 2 in our previous build. We add our boy Teferi, locks the opponent out from doing stuff on our turn, gets around counter spells, can bounce our own enchantments if need be to recast them. So you can bounce like an egg, get another card draw out of it. You can reset a Kaya's Wrath. So useful card there. It also lets us instant speed some of our spells. So we can Thought Erasure, we can Kaya's Wrath at instant speed. And then we have the full play set of Kaya's Wrath. And then we're playing 1 Liliana Dreadhorde General as a way to close out the game if the Dance of the Manse plan doesn't work. It's also card advantage for the deck. We're also spending a bunch of rares to complete our mana base. So we have 1 blue castle. I may be inclined to actually play the white castle, but I want to play a couple games with it first. And then we're playing some Fabled Passage, and then a full set of Shocklands for the Esper colors. Sideboard-wise is really just to kind of hedge our matchups. We're not really bringing in alternative win cons. So we have a couple Duress when we need them, Devout Decree versus red and black things, Disenchant versus the Fires deck, or the Great Henge, stuff like that. Then we have a Legion's End versus Golos, Noxious Grasp versus green stuff, Elderspell versus Planeswalker decks like the Jeskai Fires deck, Dovin's Veto, because we could do against Golos is if you could kill enough things, you can ultimate Liliana that turn. Dovin's Veto versus when we need like control kind of mirrors, and the Realm Cloak is just a 5th board wipe. Kind of hedging a little, we do have 4 Kaya's Wrath main, so that should be enough to deal with Golos. And then we do have the Realm Cloak as a 5th line. So Golos is probably still the hardest matchup for us, mainly because we can't force them to sack their tokens. which they could kind of go off in that case. But we'll test out the deck, see how it goes. We'll play some ranked games. We're on Plat 3 right now. So I'll do probably 1 or 2 best of 1 game, best of 3, and then a couple best of 1 games. What's standard metagame challenge? Bring your best standard deck, play best of 3 matches, you receive rewards. Do you want to spend gems? Nah. We'll save that for later. I want to draft with that. So we'll play through this, see how it goes. A couple cards we haven't included, and we may overplaying some games. Unmoored Ego out of the sideboard, Ashiok out of the sideboard. See what we want to go in that regard, but I've played probably... The only experience I've had with this deck thus far is the budget and mid-budget. They've both been pretty fun to play. This is my style of Magic, locking out your opponent. But we'll see how it goes nonetheless. So I'll have everything up on Aether Hub hopefully by the weekend in terms of all the write-ups and everything, but at least the videos will be here. You can catch all my content on my YouTube channel for replays, and you can catch my live streams on Twitch. I usually come live a couple times a week during the night, like the evening, around 6, 7 Eastern. And then on the weekends, you should try to get 1 or 2 streams in on there. Easiest way to support the channel for free is just following or subscribing. We'll probably keep this in. Scry Away a Land, Teferi into Kai's Wrath. Subscribing or following, both are free, help build the channel. If you do feel inclined, you can always subscribe on Twitch. If you can, it's greatly appreciated. Otherwise, just let people even know about the channel. And if you are purchasing physical cards on TCG Player, I do have an affiliate link in the YouTube description. If you follow the link, just lets them know that you came from the channel. So this is a creature deck, looks like Adventure. Gonna keep that because it cycles. They could choose to sack this to blow up our Guild Globe, but I don't think it's much value. Kind of funny that they have the main board answer. This is likely the Selesnya Adventures deck. So pretty slow start for the opponent, which has been good for us. I can Teferi to reset the Flaxen Intruder to buy us a turn. I can also Teferi Plus to get them to overcommit to the board. Okay, well, they're not really presenting much. So I think what we do here is just going with the Godless Shrine, and I'm actually just gonna kind of want to get the lock going, so I'll Teferi here and then bounce the Flaxen Intruder.
Right on schedule. I've got time.
Selesnya doesn't really present me as the deck that'll have a lot of flash threats. Like, they might have Flash Wolf, but I doubt it. This is usually the adventure theme. Okay, they have Questing Beast. So it's a little scary there. Unfortunate because it does get rid of this Teferi.
This is hardly my worst defeat.
So we have the Guild Globe. I will likely... Let's do Fabled Passage. I want to thin out the deck. This is enough of a problem that 1-for-1 Kai's Wrathing is worth it. We have the backup one anyways. Next turn I could Guild Globe and Othakaya. Would really like to see a Doom Foretold here. So let's play this out. Okay, so we're drawing pretty heavy in terms of lands. Interesting that they didn't commit more to the board. They're probably trying to go for the Adventure on Flaxen Intruder at this point. And drawing nothing but lands hasn't helped the case. So I could sack these to get a Dance of the Mance just to refill our hand, but I think we just play it. We're the control deck here. If they're playing creatures, we have answers. So we have Liliana, which isn't terrible, because that gets him again to overcommit to the board, and it gets us a card draw. just play this
Rise
out.
and shine.
I basically want them to commit to a good Kaya's Wrath here. So they Once Upon a Time. Questing Beast again would be pretty bad. It is an answer to Liliana. This is a matchup where Noxious Grasp becomes very good post-sideboard. Bring in the Realm Cloak Giant as another board wipe and a big body. They're probably going to have a hard time dealing with a 7/7. Okay, so they hit a land, which is great. Okay, so they go after us, which is fine.
They were a lousy servant anyway.
Okay, so let's Thought Erasure them, see what they have. Once Upon a Time and Loxodon. I'm taking the Once Upon a Time because that could get him a haste creature. And here... Excuse me.
Rise.
So now we have a lock in place with Doom Foretold. I can Oath of Kaya and Doom Foretold. So here, play this out. Oath of Kaya, away the Flaxen Intruder. Just create a zombie to protect ourselves.
Putrid, but effective.
Now Liliana could just make them sack all but one of their lands. So Liliana's another way you control. So at this point they can't really commit more to the board without losing stuff. Yeah. And that's how you lock them out. I think it was wrong on their part for not going after Liliana. So bring in the Noxious Grasps. I think that's it. Legion's End's probably not the way we want to go here. Coming out... kind of like everything, to be honest. Probably get rid of the Wishclaw Talisman. And probably the Thought Erasures. I think we want to interact more with their board. Do I want the Talisman is the question. And what are the chances they bring in Gideon? Maybe we want the Talisman. Kind of finds us their silver bullets. I also don't know how good Talisman is. So in terms of putting this list together, I kind of looked at what most of the lists were playing. And then kind of tweaked it from there. So a lot of them do play one. No white source. Sorry, no blue source. But we do have a Realm Cloak and Teferi. So I think we take this. I'm gonna get a blue source on one with this. Even better. There's our blue source. I don't want the golden egg. I think we want some action. So the nice thing is I could, with Teferi, bounce the 1/1, and then they don't get that utility to attack with Lovestruck Beast. They require a 1/1 to be able to do something. So they have Guide Mother. Okay, so drawing quite a few lands. Probably just want to use the first Teferi to bounce the token. That's odd. I don't understand why you don't play Love Struck here. You can give flying. That's very odd. I think we just do this. We can plus.
Trust me, you'll thank me later.
That might get a commitment to get them to attack Teferi and buy us some turns. Because there's not really much value. Like, this could cycle right now. If they have Questing Beast, it's bad. Okay, Edgewall. Ah, okay, so that's why they went with that route. Interesting. So I can bounce the Edgewall. Or I can Noxious Grasp this. I think we do that. Let's bounce the Edgewall because I want them to spend mana and not draw more cards. That's actually very good for us. Let's go get... We have 2 blocks. Do we need any more blue? Probably not. We need... we have 2 whites, 2 blocks. Let's get a blue source still. We got a lot of black-white in hand. Actually, will that cast... Yeah, we could still cast Realm Cloak. Hey, Metal. How's it going? So I'm just gonna cycle here. Okay, we got the Murderous Rider. So depending how they attack with Love Struck, I could just Noxious Grasp it. Kind of want them to go after... Cool. I forget, are you out of the UK or for lunch? So I'm gonna do this just to keep our life total high. Oh, West Coast LA. So you guys took Kawhi Leonard from my Toronto Raptors? Okay, so they go Flaxen. This is good, they're overcommitting. They do get some card draw out of it. So this does kind of telegraph that we have something.
Don't worry, I got this.
But they can't really do much about it. And then if we draw an untap, I could go Liliana. Oh no, the Clippers took Kawhi. I am a devout Toronto Raptors fan. So, thank you. Come again. Still a sweet animation. Yeah, so they go Loxodon. I'm actually gonna cash in this Teferi. Because if we draw an untapped, I can... Okay, so I could go Wishclaw for Doom. Yeah, we got our championship. Always happy there. Othakai is not really what I want here. I want to get a Doom Foretold. So I can keep up Rider, or I could go to Teferi Plus, and then just kind of set it up for Talisman the following turn.
I'm known for my excellent timing. Trust me, I have a plan.
And then just drop it like that. So I'm not going to activate it this turn, so I could set it up where I Doom Foretold And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could bounce something as well. So here I could bounce Tef. So I could bounce with Tef. Maybe just go Liliana. Yeah, let's go Liliana.
I do hope you make this battle exciting for me. Smelly, but effective.
Let's return the Guide Mother. And then we set up 2 Murderous Riders. There we go. There's the Doom. And now I don't need to activate Wishclaw. We can just wait for Dance of the Mance and then get him that way. So Castle's pretty good. They can make tokens. They can go flying there. So that's one thing we did forget, the flying. They go face. Okay. So this does turn off Murderous Rider from being useful. So this can get around. So let's go Doom Foretold. So I'm short of land. Oh, I can pop this for 3 life. I think we do that. Keep this open for 3 life. In a pinch, I have Murderous Rider as well.
I'll protect you.
You know what? Let's... So I could clear their board with Liliana and then hold up Murderous Rider. They could hit us for 1. Questing Beast doesn't kill us. No, I still think we just do this.
This looks like a fun new toy.
I'm likely just going to pop the egg here and gain 3 life. They'll make a token here. Doom Foretold will force him to sack one of these. And then I have an egg to feed into it. So the flyer is better for us. I might double trade with the Loxodon here. Let's just block like this. What's Liliana at? 8, so we're almost at forcing them to sack their board. I'm just going to be conservative and gain 3 life here. That gets us out of like some Questing Beast range. Also keeps these Murderous Riders useful. So we'll sack this. Here, let's start off with egg. Fabled Passage. Let's bounce this. Okay, they Veil of Summer. It's actually okay because we get that out of our hand, so Murderous Rider's live. And it also makes Liliana be a tad more useful there.
Good help is easy to find.
So that lets us. Okay, we could have just Realm Cloaked as well, but opponent gives up. It's more just going through the notion there. We had him locked up a couple ways over, so it took down 1 game. Just gonna give Arena a quick reset. Welcome to all those tuning in. We are wrapping up our budget build series with a Esper Stax deck. So this is the non-budget variant. We've played a budget version that was strict black-white, looking to leverage Doom Foretold and a bunch of afterlife threats to give us multiple sack outlets. Then we played a mid-budget deck that was still black-white with a very light splash for blue, basically for Dance of the Manse. And now this is the fully tuned version. We just bet pretty handily the green-white adventure list. Usually one of the easier ones, I think, just by the fact that we play a bunch of removal. This hand's a little iffy. I think we still keep it. We have a couple draw steps. I could Thought Erasure on 2 as well. If we could get to 3 mana, then we are probably laughing. Okay, Once Upon a Time. We'll see if this is... Forest could be a couple things. Could be a flash deck. Could Gruel. Suggests to me they have a shock in hand. Perfect. So I do still think we Thought Erasure here. You can take a Paradise Druid maybe to slow them down. Watch, they have like Veil of Summer main. It is nice to be the Esper player for once and have turn 2 Thought Erasure. I've been hurt so many times by that before. Opponent is roping us. Oh jeez. So this is troublesome. Do think we have to get rid of questing. And we do need to put that away. So this will probably be a tough matchup, just having a lot of haste threats. Untap White Source. Nope. Just want lands here. So we're gonna Othakaya one of these robbers. They did hit our lands. Ooh. That's a very good question of we take the questing beast here, right? Yeah. We actually indirectly filled our yard. Oh no, we only got the one golden egg. We scried the other one.
You call it anarchy. Me?
Yeah, we're pretty dead here. Ah, they took our Murderous Rider. The lands.
Come and destroy.
Wishclaw is not what we want. So I'm just gonna Othakaya one of these. Okay, so I was wondering if they were gonna do that play. That's actually quite smart on their part because that prevents us from gaining the life. Okay, Pelp Collector. So I can Teferi, bounce Pelp Collector.
Though they might have also just been big dogs.
That's 6 life.
Right on schedule.
I'm dead. Few ways over. They attack in. We're dead. So, missing the land drop, not having the 3rd land on curve, and then them having a hasty curve on us. So, Devout Decree is probably where we want to be. Probably Noxious Grasp. And the Realm Cloak. Legion's End's probably decent in this matchup. The Thought Erasures could come out. Wishclaw could come out. And Oath's good for the life gain. Probably cut a Dance. And then one more cut. Devout Decree, Golden. Probably cut one of the eggs. We'll get rid of a Guild Globe. Actually, Teferi seems really bad here. Just with all the haste. Do we want any other removal? No, just cut down. Because, like, we're going to take the hit from the haste. Because this deck's probably 4 Robber of Riches, 4 Gruul Spellbreakers, 4 Beasts. They're going to bring in Ceratops post-board. We'll keep this hand. So the one thing is Vantress. We're going to have to filter it through a Guild Globe to be able to cast the Kaya's Wrath. Felt Collector. Yeah. So, want to see a land here. Jeez. This is going to be one of those games that we just don't get anywhere because of mana. They're going pure haste here. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. So we're gonna lose this match because we can't hit a 3rd land. Not even being greedy. You keep 2 lands.
Wait, that might be me.
And that comes into play tapped. Oh my god. They GG us. That's likely a haster. That was bullshit. Well, 1 and 1. Let's run some best of ones, see how the deck does there. So that's not really on the deck. That's magic variance. So haste is a deck that's going to punish you for stumbling. A hand with 2 lands, a cycle into Teferi, into Kaya's Wrath is likely a hand you keep always. We knew we were playing a creature deck. Teferi would have bought us some time. Let's keep this hand. I will get a black source here. So this is likely Adventures. Oh, no, Black-White Knights. Maybe Mardu. Okay, so let's go this. Command is probably where we need to be. And I don't think we want more lands at this point. So I'm going to Oath of Kaya down on the Corpse Knight. And then follow it up with a Teferi. Corpse Knight can deal the most incidental damage to us just from them playing. And then this will effectively fog them for the turn. We gain the 3 life that they're going to attack in with. So, probably Teferi. We can go Doom Foretold, then drop double egg. Or I can go Teferi. Let's go Teferi.
Longer. Stand by and watch.
Bounce this. I know Teferi's gonna die, but
I have a plan.
I want us to get a little bit more action in hand. Try to dig for the Kaya's Wrath. Don't want the globes. This turn I'm probably going to Doom Foretold to get him to start sacking. Okay, so I'll give him some card draw. They do have the Cauldron Familiar going. Okay, so that actually nets us some life, which is all I wanted to do. Just want to drag this game out a bit.
This is hardly my worst defeat.
And we'll just play this tap. Next turn I got a bunch of eggs. So hopefully that cycles us. We may be a bit too slow if we don't draw into... That might kill them. Well, no, they have the cat to gain them life. Kai's Wrath would be really good here. Kind of locks them. This just looks like black-white, kind of mid-rangey aristocrat style. They could bring back cat, sack cat. That seems a little ambitious. Oh, they got Menagerie. Bring back Corpse Knight. Drain us for a bunch. That's not what I wanted. Show me Kai's Wrath. We're dead. So that's like the mono black Ayara deck I have, just you splashing white. Just didn't draw a lot that game. Sweet. Welcome to those. Thanks Magic for the host. We are playing some Esper Stax. Currently playing best of 1. We played some best of 3 with the deck. Probably keep this hand. Guild Globes can dig us. May want to go back to best of 3. A little less variance with the deck here. This is not the hand we want to see versus mono red. Okay, so that'll get us closer to Kai's Wrath. With the Guild Globes, it fixes our mana quite well, so you're not worrying about casting Kai's Wrath with like blue-based sources. That could be a light up the stage, trying to dig for more mana. Okay, we got Steamkin. Come on, land. Perfect. So that'll give us the Kai's Wrath next turn. We will have to pop one off to filter our mana. That's odd. Why? So they post light up the stage. Light up the stage again. If they just go Spitfire here, it's actually pretty good. If they just like vomit their hand out and then we untap in Kai's Wrath. Okay. Bye-bye board. Like they could burn us with Steamkin. Yeah, so they deal 4 to us, but that takes out their board. They play a singular threat. I have Doom Foretold. So we could Doom Foretold here. I think that's just what we do this turn. The one thing is it does take us off the Guild Globe, so we can't Kai's Wrath. But one of these sack. This will eventually gain us some life as well. And if we play the second Doom Foretold, it'll get him to sack 2, so we could pop these off. Okay, so it's just a pump spell. Do they have lethal? Are you kidding me? Oh, I hate mono red. Alright, going back to best of 3 with the deck. Like what was coming up there. Give Arena a quick restart, and then we'll go back to best of 3. Oh. A little clunky there. I'm actually going to switch the blue castle for the white castle, I think. I don't see us really needing to scry, and the availability to make chump blockers seems better. So let me do that one change. Because like that game, we just... This Castle Vantress is not doing what it needs to do. Also, I don't know... I think we just want like another threat instead of this... Where's the... Oh, wrong deck, sorry. Let's try it out. The Demonic Tutor isn't the best, in my opinion. It's a little lackluster. I think if we have either just some more early... I may want like 2 nurse sets in the deck. Okay, we'll keep this hand. Like the essence of this deck's black-white. Maybe even just like Realm Cloak main would be good. And then get rid of that Wishclaw Talisman. That's the name. So we got Egg into removal into Doom Foretold. We'll keep the Guild Globe. If they have a slower hand, we can just cycle. Okay, so green based aggro. Doesn't really matter. Okay, drawing a lot of lands here. It's a new one we're seeing. Back-to-back games seeing this guy. I think we just set up for Murderous Rider and then drop down the Doom Foretold. If they go Bone Crusher. Pretty good there. Let's go Castle will not come into play untapped. So almost screwed up there. Let's get our white source, or sorry, blue source. Just set up Doom Foretold. Next turn I could double spell. I can Guild Globe and Murderous Rider, gain us some life. We don't want to see Questing Beast here. This thing can't block.
Let's kick this madness into high gear. I was raised by wolves. Though they might have also just...
It's actually not bad. It forces him to sack without having creature. That's actually really good for us. So, Oathakaya. Get rid of this. Just play this out. And now they can't really play more than one spell per... They have to play multiple spells per turn, and we kind of have them in a lock now. So we'll get rid of the Guild Globe here. castle. Just play that out. I probably should have played the top line. Hey Zarvolt, I'm doing well. Thanks for stopping by. We've won, I think, our best of 3 games, and we lost our best of 1 games. Okay, so they got questing here. So we got a Dance of the Manse here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can dance for 3. Oh, we gotta dance for 4. So we get 2 card draws, and it'll get him to sack there. Yeah, so opponent's locked out there. Pretty good. This is a matchup where we want these Noxious Grasps. They had a lot of small things, but we probably just go Devout Decree and bring in the Realm Cloak. Coming out are the Thought Erasures, 1 Dance of the Manse, and 1 Teferi. Probably keep it like that. All the removal we want. Actually, you get rid of Wishclaw. Teferi's fine. This is a slower matchup, so unlike the other Gruul matchup we played where everything had haste, opponents shown that they're playing a little bit larger of a build. They also didn't show like Gruul Spellbreaker, which I imagine they'd be playing. There's a couple cards like in this. We'll probably bring in Ceratops. We didn't show the Kaya's Wrath, which is good. I'm going to keep this hand. Okay, we got Globe. So I kind of want them to overcommit here. If they go all in on Growth Chamber for a few turns, that's fine. So I didn't play the Guild Globe, the Golden Egg here, because I want them to attack, pump into Growth Chamber, and then be Noxious Grasp. Okay, that's fine. This is fine. We are going to make the opponent make the move here. So here, do I care? They would get it. They can go Questing Beast, then I 1-for-1 the Questing Beast. So at least this takes a card out of their hand, so we'll do this. Like, Questing Beast is the card I'm most scared of out of this deck. Okay, so they already had a Chamber in hand, and they have Harpooner. I think we take 1 hit from this. Because then I could Kaya's Wrath into Liliana. And we got Doom Foretold, which is nice. Let's just do this. Pretend like we have up the Noxious Grasp. So we can take a bit of a chunk of damage here if they have like Questing Beasts. Okay, they just adapt. That's fine. We'll take 7, but we Kaya's Wrath them. That's 7, 9 damage. Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna pop this egg. I know we have the Doom Foretold, but we need to stabilize a bit more. So Liliana could come down, make a zombie. Depends on what they throw down. If they go singular threat, then I just go Doom Foretold. And just do it as a 1-for-1, because then we have it that we could bring back with Dance. Bone Crusher. So here, yeah, I think we just go Liliana.
Warrior Queen Necromancer.
Because even if they have Questing Beast
Rise
here,
and shine.
they could only deal 4 to Liliana. We have the block. They could do Domri, fight, and then hit Liliana, but I get a card draw out of it. Okay. So there's a haste here. Can I go face?
I'll find a use for you.
Okay, that's actually pretty good. This will get rid of... Oh, that's even better. So I'm just going to set this up
This looks like a fun new
like
toy.
this. Hey Sneward. When I first started playing, I didn't do as much on Twitch. I did mostly YouTube replays. So I have over 1,300 subs on YouTube. It was only recently that I did more on like YouTube. Okay, so we're gonna... Oh, that's tricky. Actually, so I have to Liliana here, right? Because then if they draw a Boneyard Giant, I'm dead. Golden Egg can get back. Yeah, I gotta pop this.
Battle to the grave.
Just play this out. I'm gonna like low value do this. It gains us some life. And it draws us a card. What do we got for Dance? 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So X6. They don't have haste, which is good. They do have the castle, which I need to be mindful of. Okay, so let's go to Teferi. Opponent's quite impatient, which I don't mind.
I've got time.
Okay, so if I do this, I can still hold up the Murderous Rider. And then I can sack this to get mana for Dance of the Manse. I'm going to keep Realm Cloak. It's a blocker and a board wipe that we can instant speed with Teferi. We could also instant speed Dance of the Manse with Teferi, which is pretty sweet. Yeah, locked him out. Sweet. Alright, so overall didn't do too bad. We won 2 to the 3 of our best of 3 matches. We lost to Hasty Gruul, which is probably a deck that on average Esper Control will lose against. And best of one, we got trumped. Lots of aggro there. We usually want to see a little bit slower mid-range with this particular deck. But that pretty much wraps up this budget build series. Like I mentioned, I will do my write-up for Aether Hub, kind of highlighting all 3 variations of the deck, thoughts on it. You could probably save this wildcard on Wishclaw Talisman and just play more removal, I think. Seemed a lot better than some of the other options. And that'll wrap that one up. So I'll have this on YouTube if you missed any part, and I'll be back later this weekend with a couple other builds. I've been playing a lot of Golos Fires recently. I'm still kind of tuning. I'm going between 3 decks, Jeskai Fires, Simic Ramp, and then a couple Golos variants to level up, rank up with. I was like 20 and like 7 with Jeskais, and then just ran into a lot of Golos decks. It's the only matchup this deck I feel like has a hard time against. But overall, not too bad. I'm going to discount the best of 1 decks, and we went 2-1 basically in matches with Esper Stax, so good to keep in mind. Sorry. Esper Stax. So, sideboard's right here. I'll link you the actual deck list. So all my deck lists, if you ever need to find them, are always on Aether Hub. Everything I post will be there. Yeah, Ego was something I was considering. We didn't run into Golos actually at all, which is a little odd. What I would probably do is cut the Realm Cloak to the main board, get rid of Wishclaw Talisman, and then add an Ego into the sideboard. I don't think we need these Duress, so we can probably go down a Duress, up a Legion's End, and then the 2 Egos, and then kind of wrap it up like that. I think that would be a better sideboard plan. Yeah.